What would you do for 15 minutes of fame? In America, often the answer seems to be just about anything. And thanks to the internet, exposure has never been easier. My guest today, Matt Felker, started out poking fun at our craze for celebrityhood on MySpace. Now it's helping launch his own Hollywood career. Pleasure to have you here today, Matt.
Nice to see you.
So I just want to say, since I'm wearing this, who is Brad Lenz? What is this all about? What's going on?
Fantastic, number one. It fits you very well. Brad Lenz, well, essentially it's a film that I wrote, and Brad Lenz is actually the lead character of the film. But what I did is in marketing it's all about, it's like kind of like an Entourage type feel script, but it's more real. Like Entourage is it's kind of like the stakes are heightened, and it's not as real as, you know, me and you see on a daily basis.
Sure.
So Brad Lenz is really essentially this character who is, you know, either Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or Julia Roberts or whoever.
Or don't you say almost anybody? Because I think you've got...
We even have homeless people, exactly. But it's that stamp of approval and that person that we look up to and that we're sold in Hollywood. You know, that whatever beauty and whatever is, that's who Brad Lenz is, and that's why we have the no photo picture, because essentially in Hollywood today, you can literally put any single person in this pile of pictures, throw it in the no photo thing, and if done correctly, you can make a movie star or at least you know, some sort of celebrity out of. Right. And that's the whole concept.
And that's pretty much what you're doing. I mean, with the MySpace thing, it's taken on a life of its own.
Well,
now.
No, it's funny because literally I went out with the film, and it's about MySpace. I mean, I don't hide anything. It's very honest. It paints MySpace in a very honest picture. It doesn't, you know, because a lot of people use it for dating services. People use it for networking services. You know, there's shady stuff that goes on on the internet. I mean, you know it. It doesn't matter if it's JDate, MySpace, Friendster, whatever.
Right.
You know, my personal experience was on MySpace because it was the most popular, you know, of all the...
Yeah, and I mean, on the one hand, I love the internet, and God knows, you know, for TV and all that, it's great for getting things out there.
Right.
And there's, you know, in a lot of different fields. But yet, when we first put the show on MySpace, and I started getting friends requests, Francie and I were talking, our makeup artist, and I'd say, do I accept these people as friends?
Yeah, because
and she was like, yeah, just accept anybody.
It's a little creepy, because it becomes like a popularity contest.
Right.
And
to see how, but even more than that, but to see how outrageous you can be. I think it's a lot of it.
Well, yeah. Well, it's everyone's chance to shine. It's literally reverting back to high school. It's like that. Hey, look at me. You know, I'm hot, cool, popular. You know, and you're really trying to show the world you in the best light. Yep. You know, you put up your best pictures. Everything's lit perfectly. You never have a zit, God forbid. And your dialogue is always perfect, because if you mess up, you can hit delete, 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 and then rewrite it.
Yeah, but it's not even just your best picture. Usually it's like your best picture of you half dressed.
Exactly, photoshopped, and yeah, but that's the reality of it. So, and I mean, I've met thousands of people while I was writing the film, and it sounds a little scary and creepy, but it was fascinating to me how, like, girls would literally go on dates with you, sight unseen, like, and just go and meet you out. And it's like, and I would meet, some of these girls are very young, you know, like 20, 21 years old.
Some of these girls are like 13 years old. And they're older guys. I mean, not that you've been dating.
Yeah, like,
but
that's the 12-year-olds that went out with their mom was not happy with me, but, you know.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, that's part of the problem with MySpace is, you know, you have like these predators online who are going for the young teenagers who, again, are putting everything out there as provocatively as possible to get that exposure and that 15 minutes of fame.
No, exactly, and that's, you know, that's kind of what I'm trying to exploit, I mean, in a sense.
Well, you've been getting some publicity of your own as a result of this. We've got a clip here of you. Let's take a look at this.
Oh no, I'm scared.
But instead of kissing Madonna, she makes out with Matt from the Midwest.
And we kissed.
Funny how that happened.
I was supposed to do another job that day and it canceled, so I was going to go home, back to Wisconsin, where I'm from, and they called me like 20 minutes before I was supposed to be there. And they're like, you want to make out with Britney Spears? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to do that.
The Brad Pitt lookalike spoke exclusively with E! About the making of the video and making out with Britney Spears.
The million-dollar question is, what's Britney Spears like as a kisser?
I can't complain. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. It's all right.
And how long did you guys, you had to do take after take after take?
You know, well, we had 3 different cameras, so we had to do it over and over and over and over. And
so, I feel so bad for you.
That's what toxic's about, yeah!
It's still Britney Spears, and you're like the envy of every man, woman, and child from like 10 to 60.
Matt, did have to share the spotlight with Tyson Beckford and Martin Henderson. But does he have what it takes to steal Miss Spears' heart?
We're in a slightly different.
Okay, and so this music video came about as a result of what you're doing on MySpace.
Exactly, because essentially what I did is before I started writing the film, I released all my managers, agents, and anyone that dealt with me. And I started writing, and I really wanted.
So what happened? You were a little bit frustrated with the way things were going?
Well, no, it was a very strange time in my life. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm, super naive, or was, and I relocate to Hollywood, out of nowhere, not knowing.
Well, swimming with the sharks now.
My ankle from my elbow, you don't know what's going on. And I got into a relationship with a girl, and I broke up with her, and I was just kind of this and things were like every other model actor. I call them MAWs, model actor whatevers. Come to Hollywood, you get at this point, you're like, okay, there's 1,000 people that look just like me. Guy or girl, I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care if you're on TV or not on TV. There's 20 of you running around Hollywood. Right. It's just reality if you're on TV or not. And it got to this point where it's like, okay, and I started writing because I just write to write, and I'm like, I'm just going to see how much trouble I can get myself in on MySpace. And this was at the birth of the program, like right when it came out. And actually, I went from Friendster, which was the original like Hollywood, cool, networking site, and then it went to MySpace. Yeah. And I had met a casting. This isn't as cool of a story, but I met a casting director at a casting, just like every other actor, or whatever goes in, and it was a guy that I just said hello to, whatever, and I found him on MySpace. So what I did then afterwards is I would write him on MySpace all the time. This is before we had thousands and millions of friends. It was like you had 20, 30 friends, and it was like people you really knew.
The thing I wondered when I first logged in on MySpace was when it said Tom is your friend. I thought, who the hell's Tom?
Who's Tom? Exactly. Well, we have a Tom character in the film, which is very funny. But so what I did is I just kept emailing him, just being funny and stupid, because I knew he casted like Britney Spears videos. I go, hey man, if you ever need anyone to make out with Britney Spears, just let me know. I literally would put that in his mind like every week. One day I finally got the call. Like, hey man, I'm like.
So now MySpace is your own agent.
It is kind of, and it's kind of funny. And I spun it and I did it again, and I put myself in the biggest billboard in Times Square, again
and
without.
I think you're referring to this ad campaign,
exactly,
right?
for Dollhouse. Yeah, it's a denim line.
And this is you with
Joanna Krupa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that come about for MySpace?
Again, I had just. Like life imitating art, I wrote this whole monologue of this kid working out at the gym, questioning why the hell am I here? Why do I run on a treadmill for an hour a day and have to have a six-pack and weigh 160 pounds because it's what media's feeding you and it's what you think you have to be. And I had this funny profile. I deleted all my original profiles, and I had this really funny profile on MySpace, and it had all the characters I write about, their disorders and dysfunctions. And I had a bulimic girl, because I write about one. I have a girl that was addicted to drugs. I had all these disturbing images.
Yeah, well, and I think the main photo of you on MySpace is this, and
exactly.
I thought, that can't be him,
Yeah, exactly. And that's that's a huge model that actually wore my shirt. And you know what the funny thing is? I've never met her. That's the funny thing.
Just through MySpace?
No, all these people I've never met. That's the brilliance of people wearing my t-shirts. I've never actually met in person any of these people. And I've done it on purpose now to prove my point, because people now have virtual friends. I have friends that I've talked to for 2 years, that live in London or wherever, Israel, that I've never met. But but you talk to them all the time. It's like, hey, how are you? I see you on this. It's very it's
and I think it's interesting because on the one hand, people always say people don't know their next door neighbor these days in America.
Right.
But yet.
But you're top 8 on MySpace.
Yeah, exactly. And they could be anywhere in the world. So I don't know. Is that good or bad? The fact that.
It closes the world. It just my whole emphasis with the reason I did the T-shirts is because every production company was so weirded out by my thing. They're like, I don't know, this is a little too much for Hollywood. I don't know if they're going to do it. MySpace is going to want to kill you. That's not going to happen.
They haven't pulled the plug on you yet.
No,
so.
What's going to happen is you're going to have maybe 5 people, delete their profiles, and 40 people are going to sign up.
Right.
I'm helping the cause. It's just you're not going to crush
it's
it.
Just more
it's the
publicity
generation,
for them.
exactly. But that was the whole goal of the T-shirts, is because people I did a trial run and I put a relationship online of me and the girl I was dating, who I actually turned into a character afterwards, who I wrote about in the film. And I created a newlyweds online with 2 not famous people that were remotely I use the term fame loosely. I've been on TV a couple times. I'm not famous. This girl had been in a couple ad campaigns. People would recognize the face. Not famous.
Uh-huh.
So we took these 2 people together, and I put everything online, from day-to-day things and blogs like this. We had more viewers than Nick and Jessica.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands of hits a day, and that was my trial run to see would this actually work. And people that were questioning me, I'm like, well, hey, why don't you check this out? And why I have a gazillion comments every day from Yugoslavia, from Australia, from London, from Miami, you name it. Yeah, it was crazy.
And on the one hand, yeah, well, I think it's good too in a way, though. Again, that the internet empowers you to go out there and do that.
That's what I did with the T-shirts. It was that because people can't think outside the box; they need something tangible to grab onto. So I'm like, here's a T-shirt that's tangible you can put on, and guess what? You take a picture in it, and I can show I have an audience in this country, this state, this state, this state, and this state because you're wearing the T-shirt, and that's it. Because people don't want to think; they want to see. So.
We'll be right back with Matt. And we are back with Matt Felker today talking about how his MySpace campaign has taken on a life of its own. So speaking of the T-shirts and the whole campaign really, so these posters have started creeping up all over town, and you say you're not doing it.
Nope, I'm not, and that's the funny thing. A bunch of street artists, and they go by the name of No-Fi is the guys that do it, or Murmur is the group name. And what it is, it's a art form called wheat pasting, and it's basically those things you see all over New York and Los Angeles, like when they have on like the boards where there's construction. It's the same thing, and they're posters that are printed out, and it's a form of art. And what these guys used to do to get to play in venues and bands and stuff like that, they used to put their posters up right in front of the venues or whatever like art gallery they wanted to get into. So
this thing has definitely taken on a life of its own.
Yeah, and they just started. They've been popped up everywhere, and I mean, I literally go around and I get embarrassed sometimes because I wonder, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if this person knows that I'm behind this, like. And
you said people even showed up at
a PETA demonstration. That picture was sent to me.
Wearing your
it was a PETA demonstration
T-shirt.
wearing my T-shirt. Yeah. Again, a girl I've never met, a virtual friend, type thing. So it's definitely it's a signal that society is totally different because of the internet. So.
Now, of course, the ironic thing about this is that on the one hand, when you kind of poke fun at Hollywood and celebrity and a lot of the things that people are doing on MySpace,
right?
But yet on the other hand, it's
the same, yeah.
Leading you into you got the movie project.
It's a giant contradiction, which is a concern of mine actually, because I don't want to cross the lines of, oh, this is just some kid who's tired of Hollywood that just wants to be famous like everybody else. Because honestly,
because people could say, is it a publicity stunt?
Exactly, and you know what? It may turn out to be that, and I'm not going to deny it. But here's the thing: it's all these other people that are in society right now that are quote unquote famous, and again, I use that term so loosely. Don't do anything.
Right.
It's like they're famous for what kind of shoes they wear, or or what kind of drugs they do, or who they're sleeping with. It's like, seriously, it's to a point where I think society's hit the wall where it's like, let's focus on something real.
Yeah, they always say, well, a couple of things. Number one, there is no such thing as bad publicity in America. I mean, if you're famous or infamous, it's pretty much the same thing,
Exactly.
And
I mean, like I was talking to you before, I think, and I hate even to spend time on her, I think Paris Hilton is bulletproof. I mean, the girl literally can do anything she wants, and she's going to shine. I don't care what she does. Literally, she could probably hit someone drunk driving.
Right, yeah, the latest thing with the drunk driving.
And still come out on top and be on the cover of Vogue the next day. I mean, look at even Kate Moss. I mean. So
what do you think? What does that say about us? I mean, the fact that you don't care that somebody's out drunk driving, as long as it's a celebrity, it's cool.
You know what I think? I'm from the Midwest, so like things in Wisconsin come like 7 years later. Like we're a little behind in fashion and all that kind of stuff, and it's, it's just the truth. But what happens is everyone that says like, oh, everyone's so weird and crazy in Hollywood. All Hollywood is society 5 years before it happens. It starts here and it goes to all the other states afterwards. And really what happens is everything is just so loose now. It's like, oh, well, Ashley Simpson's getting a nose job and so-and-so's getting her boobs done. And so then little girls in the Midwest are like, well, this is okay now because I'm seeing it and reading it. Whereas before it was like, well, that's just kind of weird. I was born this way and, whatever. And I don't know. It's a really fine line.
I took a PR class once with Stan Rosenfield. I'll give him a little shout out here.
Right.
And mostly I just was curious to get ideas for marketing and a few things. And but our final project was to design a PR campaign for an Oscar nominee, I suppose, or a film or actress or actor who'd been nominated for the Oscars. So. So he was supposed to come up with new and innovative to promote this project. So mine was, I said, number one, you should either make a kinky home video, or number two, commit a crime.
Exactly.
And I said, that's the way you get a fame in America,
that's
is to commit a crime or make a kinky video.
Well, that's the whole thing, and the irony of that you even bring that up is...
And I'm still trying to decide which one to do.
Well, it doesn't work. Here's the thing. The irony is in the videos, one of the girls I actually dated and wrote about appeared in a celebrity sex tape. I'm not going to name who or what or whatever, because obviously I'll get in a lot of trouble. And again, it was this was the girl that really inspired me to write the whole film, because it was this girl who was just so hungry and desperate to be famous that literally they would literally sell their soul for 15 seconds, because she thought that, okay, you know, I'll just do this and this is going to turn me into Paris, because look at what it did for her. And people like take these like they think it's an equation like A plus B equals celebrity, and it really doesn't, because what's working for Paris Hilton is never going to work for anyone else again. I mean, the girl is literally like, she fascinates me. I gotta say I'm a fan.
Well, and again, I think to give another extreme example, I mean, which you mentioned on your website, and I thought you were very perceptive about this, or on MySpace, the terrible thing apparently recently, you know, God only knows what the real story is, but the guy who claimed that he killed
John Marcar, yeah.
Right, and so we're so desperate for attention or publicity in this country that you would claim that falsely that you committed murder
and killed a little girl, exactly,
just for your 15 minutes of fame on the evening news.
And that again is, I mean, that's a huge extreme. I mean, I can't even like pair those together with
I hope
the
people aren't doing that
about.
on MySpace.
No, but you know what I mean. But that was like the extreme, because you literally have to ruffle people's feathers, rub them the wrong way, or maybe even make them mad for a second, even to get them to look or listen. And that's the whole concept with MySpace. Either it needs to be a very pretty picture or a very offensive picture, or nobody's going to look at your page. You know, and that's the reason I put that up. And it really kind of, again, it's like we can put that guy who's as creepy as he is, throw him in the no photo picture, and we have fame. Regardless of what kind of fame it is, he's getting more attention than a war that's going on. Like a third world war, this guy's getting more attention.
On the other hand, to go to the other extreme, I will say, again, this in favor of the internet or MySpace or some of the other sites, when you look at, I think, at how it's promoting, let's say, independent bands or even the big acts.
Oh, it's a brilliant site, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's why I didn't understand why so many people were scared of my film. It's just, I show you the negatives and the positives. You're not going to hide it, you know what I mean? And like I told him, I go, something horrible is going to happen on that site. It's just too easy to link to too many people. It just hasn't happened yet. But on the positive side, bands get discovered, you know, people I mean, I'm just a small case of, you know, stuff, but I know artists that have gotten signed, you know, to major, you know,
and I think that's great, because again, I mean, when you're a singer, you know, you can talk about the downside of fame, but certainly, you know, when you're singing or performing, you do want people to show up. You want an audience. You want somebody out there.
And I mean, even for, you know, comedians, they've been doing it too. Like Dane Cook had a whole thing on how he would get everyone to go to his comedy shows. And I mean, literally, I do more work on MySpace than I do on like a regular email address, because you can just shoot off stuff to everybody. And in the entertainment industry, everyone wants like pictures and stuff. So it's like, oh, well, who are you talking about? So you send them your profile, and then there you go. So
we'll be right back. But I think it's interesting. You have to give Hollywood credit for this. I think that, you know, on the one hand, we point out some of the downside of fame in Hollywood, but yet you've actually drawn attention from the industry for this movie project.
Of course, yeah.
And so even though you're doing a little bit of Hollywood bashing, you get CAAs interested.
It's not really bashing. I mean, I've pitched the project to a lot of people, and you know, it's big business. You know, you go to like these big agencies like an Endeavor, CAA, or William Morris, or you know, big production companies, and you know, they're dealing with an equation, dollars and cents. Right. This actor plus this actor plus this.
See, it all comes down to money. And
but you
even
have to understand
if you can make money, they'll do it.
But that was my whole thing. I go, my film is a running commercial. I mean, it's the most commercial, not commercial film, if that makes any sense. You know, and it's funny because, you know, everyone was like scared of it. And again, now you know, producers are on MySpace, you know. Right. Trust me, all the guys at CAA are probably on MySpace. Same with, you know, Endeavor and wherever else.
And you said CAA is involved with this.
I have it pitched over there, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But they were doing something in the LA Times, apparently, I read about. So they were doing something on YouTube. Yeah, I got an email from a producer being like, oh, this is like a brilliant marketing campaign. You know, what is this about? And you know, Brad Lenz is the lead character in my film. If you read my film, you can't escape it. It's in every single page. You know, it's a project that was pitched to his production company that he passed on.
Oh.
Which means you didn't even read my project because you knew I wrote it and you threw it right in the garbage. But now that you see it on MySpace, now it's so smart.
Well, yeah, and
but I mean, you just have to deal with that, and it's just, you have to understand it's an uphill battle, and you know, no one is going to do anything for you. Everyone thinks everyone comes to Hollywood and they have these, like, you know, new age, you know, concepts like the universe is going to take care of me. It's not going to happen. The universe isn't going to take care of you.
In this town?
The universe is going to step on you. Like that's like the reality, and then they're going to kick you, out the door of the casting room, because they just want. People are all, everybody's fighting for the same thing, and I'm just going to do whatever I can to make my movie, And this kind of stuff and the outreach is so organic from so many different people. It's just. I honestly don't think you're going to be able to stop it, no matter who likes or dislikes my film. I think it just will happen because of how many people are involved already.
Sure.
So fast.
Now, you said you had a bit of a dilemma about whether or not to put yourself in this, because these days everybody wants to be the writer, director, actor, producer.
No, exactly, and it's funny because I have friends that are at studios and run film, and they're like, well, they're going to want to replace you with so and so an actor, or you're not going to direct this, and that's fine. I have no interest in directing this film. I am personally not capable of directing the film. I'm just not. I'm not going to pretend like it's I can. As far as acting is concerned, initially I wrote myself to play myself because it's very documentary style, and it kind of kills on reality TV, and it actually makes sense for me to play me. But as the further this kind of campaign goes further, the more and more I almost don't want to play myself, because it looks like, again, this I want to be famous type,
You prefer to be the anonymous who is.
Yeah, exactly, because you know what? It's just, the film really speaks to people, and anyone that's read it has responded so strongly to it that, that and enough is, fine. You know what I mean? And if I can talk about it, it's fine too. But as of now, how it's written, it is me to play me, but, things can change, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you mentioned reality TV, and of course we've been talking about the internet, kind of the ups and downs of the internet, but what do you think of reality TV? I mean, certainly there you have the extreme case of people who will do anything to be on TV for...
Well, I think, again, there's a fine line. I mean, reality TV, again, from a business standpoint, is genius. It's cheap production.
Right.
It's putting people on TV, exploiting them for literally no money.
Yep.
It's like, here's $500. We'll beam
yeah, a lot of times, the actors you have to pay, but a reality show sometimes...
Well, and that's, again, what society and the people in Wisconsin or Iowa or Minnesota, they don't understand this. They just think this person's on TV, so they're living in a big house, and the image that's shot in their head is, they think they're done. These people are schlepping, drinks to me at a bar. You know what I mean? But they're on MTV. But that's the reality of it, is that they're not, and they're struggling just like everybody else because you're not getting paid. But again, like there's another celebrity reality TV, which is smart, which is celebrities that are no longer celebrities but want to be celebrities again, so that face is recognizable. So you throw them on TV, and again, you have marketing, and then the money comes from endorsements. And because everyone wants to put them on magazines then.
Yeah, well, when Andy Warhol talked about the 15 minutes of fame, we've gotten to the point where, you used to think with the movies you had to have some kind of talent or something, but these days it's pretty much...
If you're a little bit witty, or you're funny, or you're maybe...
Or not, even if you're a bad singer.
Or remotely attractive. I'm not going to bash anyone personally, but there are plenty of those, and I could probably go down the list. But you know what, it's congratulations, you beat the system, and there you go.
Well, this is Matt Felker.
We're getting there. Do you want to write it down? Here, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, he's going to write it down. While he's doing that, I want to thank you very much for being here today.
No problem. I'm going to write
Good luck with your movie and the MySpace campaign. You can see him around in Times Square in New York. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time. Be careful on MySpace.
Yeah, careful.
How's it going? Let's get down to business. Okay, Tanya, step aside. Let's not get you in the shot. Hot. Let's do this, film school.
All right.
Let's make some art. Circle me.
Love it.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I have just been a good girl for too long. I am ready to be bad.
Break out of that shell.
Yeah, but I'd really love for you to meet my parents. They would just love you.
Let's do the tape, see how it goes, and then we'll do the parent thing. Because that's a big step.
That's what I think.
Am I getting color?
Yeah, you definitely get
a big step.
Oh, but they would love you. Oh, and they're really sweet. You would love Al and Linda. I really think that you and I have something special, because I wouldn't do this with just anyone. I'm gonna gnaw on you, and I'm gonna...
What the hell is this?
Oh, shit. Who the hell is that?
Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with LPP?
Okay, somebody needs to
It's
tell me
Shar
something.
Jackson. That's her boyfriend.
Missy, I swear to
They're
God.
not serious. Hold on. You are totally humiliating yourself. We have permission to be here. We are friends of the owner.
Really?
Yes.
You have permission from the owner to be here and
Yes.
film a porn.
Oh, I beg your pardon. It's a sex tape.
Well, see, that's weird because I'm the owner.
Okay,
Okay, so you
Sean.
have permission from me to shoot a sex tape in my
Sean,
backyard.
over here. I just want to say that you look great. Getting dumped by that ballerina works for you.
You know what, Missy? I should have known that your trifling ass was behind this porn video.
It's an art film, really. These guys are from AFI. Okay. Yeah,
Wait, who the hell are you?
Oh, honey, we met last year at the Teen Choice Awards. How are you, baby? Char.
Don't make me knock your ass out. Look, I want you out of my house.
Hey, baby.
Can you get back underwater?
Hey.
Matt, what the fuck are you doing?
Sex tape?
Oh, hell no. I'd be damned if I let another...